Welcome to Rebuilding Rosters by yours truly. In today's episode, we will be taking a look at Excel Esports. In this video series, we will be profiling teams to figure out their preferred playstyles, diagnosing problem areas based on what has worked and what has not worked in the previous season, before we scout for solutions in the academy or regional leagues below them, perhaps even internationally in some cases, before we provide some suggestions to these teams in terms of how we can fix their problems by suggesting players. To start things off, Excel Esports is a relatively new team to the LEC. Starting out in 2019, they did not have the best results, finishing in 9th place in spring and 10th place in summer. The organization went through a big shift in management and brought on 6-star general Joey Youngbuck Steltenpool in the bid for 2020. I like the challenge of bringing a team from 10th place to playoffs. I know I will find a lot of fulfillment in that job because I feel like the players are going to be hungry and teachable. There is a really high ceiling that can be reached with the team. This is quoting Youngbuck in his interview with Insu Collins at the start of the 2020 season. Needless to say, the performance from Excel from 2019 and 2020, while some of the pieces were similar, were not entirely comparable. In the spring split of 2020, they finished 7th, not hitting the target of reaching playoffs just yet, but still a respectable improvement from the 10th place that they had in 2019. Changes were underway, and solo laners Mickey and Expect were swapped out for local talent in the form of Special, promoted from the academy leagues, and Christ, who was scouted using their scouting system. Still, results did not improve for Excel, as they finished 7th place once again in the most recent summer split of the 2020 LEC. Over this 1 year, Excel has had a win rate of 15 wins and 21 losses, under the 50% mark. All of this is cited to be part of a 2-year plan that Excel is looking at. To take stock of what is this contract situation that Excel is looking at the moment, Christ, the top laner, Patrik and Torre, the bot lane of Excel, have their contracts expiring in 2021, while Cadro, their franchise jungle player, as well as Special, have their contracts expiring at the end of this year. Additionally, the academy team of BTXL features Sendo, Taxer, Hatrix, Dately, and Kasing, of which only Hatrix in the mid lane and Dately in the AD carry position have their contract expiring in 2021. The 2021 goal for Excel will be to build an effective roster that utilizes the strengths of the existing pieces well. And they will be aiming to make roles in 2021 as the 3rd or 4th LEC seed. With that in mind, we can start to identify what has gone wrong with Excel's performance in the 2020 season. Excel has had a rather undefined playstyle. With 9 games being played in the second round robin of the LEC, they've tried 3 different playstyles in equal measure, playing 3 games of team fights around neutral objectives against the likes of Fnatic, Misfits, and Vitality, a very unsuccessful 1-3-1 using the likes of Twisted Fin and Camille, where they lost games against G2, Schalke, and Rogue, and going for tempo-based pick compositions against the likes of FSK, Mad Lions, and Origin. As a secondary factor to consider, another issue that Excel has is that the solo laners have been regularly outclassed by the rest of the LEC competition, and should they want to be serious contenders to take the world seeds in 2021, they will need upgrades to mid lane and top lane to be able to contest the big boys in the league. To talk more about playstyle, adaptability is definitely important for top teams, and this has to be counterbalanced by having strong roots in one playstyle, raising the skill floor of the team, providing a degree of familiarity and ability to repeat and drill certain aspects of the game plan down. So far, Excel in all three playstyles, despite the wins that they have had, they have not shown proficiency in any of these three styles, and this could be a result of a roster that is not complementary. Price in the top lane prefers to play carries, drawing resources away from the team, and Patrik in the bot lane is an AD carry that succeeds the best when he has resources playing towards him. To talk more about Patrik, in the LEC so far, he was voted first All-Pro team, and he came in second in damage percentage share at 38.2%. Patrik is known throughout his career for playing lane bullies for the likes of Draven, Kalista, Xayah, and Ashe, doing well on these champions when he's enabled on them. In the split, Aphelios, however, was his most successful champion, having a 75% win rate at a 7.4 KDA. His performances was able to secure XL 4 of their wins, earning MVPs in 2 of these games and being very large factors in wins in the other 2 as well. It can be argued that not only Patrik is the first team All-Pro AD carry, he should be considered the MVP for XL as a whole. Now, if we were to use this as a starting point, we can break a few possible playstyles that we can model XL after. FPX is a team that plays mid jungle into bot using tempo pick in the mid game. World Elite has a similar setup towards FPX, but they go for neutral objective teamfights. JD Gaming is something that can utilize the strengths of Cadro a little bit better, where they play through the side lanes for a very strong mid jungle skirmishing duo, or for a teamfight style, much like how some of the top Korean teams like Genji tend to play. And needless to say, we are looking for options at the top lane and mid lane. For the top laner, we are looking for a weak side specialist capable of soaking pressure well. What we will be scouting for is experience and intelligence in playing on the weak side, examining these players' champion pool as well as their solo queue profile. For the mid laner, there are 2 possible options. The first is to go for an enforcement type mid laner, similar to the likes of Doin B or Teacher Ma, or we can go for a skirmishing assassin player. Once again, we will be examining the champion pool and solo queue profile of these players to determine if they are a suitable fit. For the top laner, easy options from the ERLs will be the SLO Spanish top laners. D'Antonio as well as Binsu have had a decent showing so far in the summer split of the 2020 season in the SLO, and with D'Antonio peaking at 777 LP, he has been a very big part of Giant's success, not only playing the laning phase of the weak side well, he has also been a key factor in finding opportunities in setting up for his team to be successful in teamfights. Binsu is another player worth looking into, being a very consistent and strong option from the ERLs as a whole. However, the thing about playing in ERLs is that you get away with playing on weak side a lot more as compared to proven competition, and going for any player from the ERL would be kind of a risk without having the chance to properly test them out against high level competition in scrims and on stage. If we were to look at international waters, from the PCS, PSG talent Hanabi is somebody that XL can be considering as well, only of 20 years of age, with the likes of Gangplank and On being his signature champions. This is a player whose champion profile and playstyle matches what XL could be looking for. Additionally, with a peak LP of 682 on the Korean server, Hanabi has been proven under pressure during his time as Flash Wolves, being forced to adapt to a very similar tempo-based playstyle, constantly being isolated on the weak side. Another player that can be considered by XL who has also proven himself under pressure and on the LEC stage is Origin's Alphari. With its Canada Gangplank performances, Alphari has been the standout top laner of 2020, with a peak LP on the EU West server of 1094, XL would be looking for a similar standout performance from him if they will want to make a serious bid for Worlds in 2021. For mid lane options, the first style of play where we're looking for an enforcement type mid laner, Giants Gaming's Pretty should be somebody that is considered proficient on the likes of Karma, Galio, and Azure. Pretty fits the overall profile and fulfills what XL might be looking for in terms of facilitating a bot lane carry performance. Metislaw from Kick is somebody that can be considered as well, having a strong performance in the Polish league, in the Ultra Liga, and he has also picked up some Aurilan Soul in a solo queue. To search internationally once again, Tally from Legacy in the Oceanic region is somebody who has had the best stats on Karma in this entire season, and has a pocket pick of Cho'Gath as well as a series of tanks that can be played, previously having been a top laner. To consider mid laners that can be played for via side lanes, an option that already exists in the Academy team. Promoting hat-tricks up from BTXL and its proficiency on LeBlanc should be something that XL is considering for the 2021 season. In a similar vein, his fellow countryman of Leader is another very big skill upgrade if they're looking for somebody who can get solo kills against the likes of Abadage and Caps. Leader has shown us what he's capable of on the LEC stage, although he could do with some consistency, and that is where Young Buck's expertise as a coach can come in to mold this raw talent into a large asset for XL. To look at the minor regions once again, No Man's is somebody that XL could look into. One of the consistent performers for in the Russian scene. No Man's has put up good numbers, not only domestically, but also individually when his team goes and performs internationally as well. But if resources allow, XL would do well to consider a dual mid system. A dual mid system would enable XL to embrace a larger gamut of possibilities, assessing a larger variety of strategies, helping them meta-proof themselves against the two-patch cycle that happens in League of Legends. So they promote hat-tricks from the Academy BTXL over to their main roster, and they pick up the likes of Metislaw, complementing that with Patrick's tempo pick AD carries and his team fighting AD carries. This will make Kalista a very strong option that teams will have to be wary of XL wielding. Putting a weak side top laner at the centerpiece and consistent factor that perhaps can be blind picked for in the draft phase. This should enable a whole host of strategies that are shown on your screen based on their jungler and support's current preferences. Being able to access 4 different playstyles would definitely allow XL to have not only some form of consistency, but variance and the ability to prepare and adapt for various opponents while keeping a relatively high skill floor through familiarity. True roster selection and scouting for XL. This will enable the team to provide focus and direction for the team, narrowing down the various options and possibilities in which you can play this game. This will emphasize and highlight team strengths, playing around a key AD carry player. Allow for development and diversification, perhaps promoting some of the players from their regional squad. And most importantly, enable firepower to match the top teams and the LEC itself. This was Rebuilding Rosters, featuring XL Esports.